Hey everyone, Scott Nunes here. You could follow me on Twitter and all the socials at Mr. Nunes Teach, Instagram at I am Mr. EdTech. Former educator, tech coach, helped build a virtual school in Northern California, then went corporate with Canva for a number of years, and now I'm independently advising, consulting tech companies with their go-to-market strategy and working with districts on their procurement and app stack. So looking for creative solutions to funding as well during these trying times.
Sir, welcome back to the show. How you doing, man?
It's been a minute. It's been good. I think it's been since TCCA 2021 1.
That might.
It was my first week with Canva.
Holy cow! Yeah, dude. That's right. Yeah, it's been a minute. It has been a minute, man. How you been? Everything going well?
Yeah, it's been so good, and it's really interesting with what we're going to talk about today. It kind of started with what we're going to talk about, and it's just continuing.
Okay, with that being said, I apologize before because I do look down at my phone on occasion because I have the questions written down here, but AI, hot topic, super hot topic. Yeah. Not going away anytime soon, as I like to tell people. We're not closing Pandora's box. Yeah, it's done. It's here to stay. So whoa, a little technical foot difficulty there. So if you don't mind, we're talking about relationships because beyond AI, we got to keep those relationships going, relationships alive. Can you tell us of the last time you built a super strong, just overall relationship with someone, not necessarily connected with AI or that maybe helped you understand a new technology? But if it wasn't for that person and that relationship that you built with that person, you probably wouldn't be able to navigate that landscape with that new technology.
Absolutely. I just had a conversation last night at one of the socials. We were talking about AI. It was all stuff I had done. So just using different prompts to get your research, pitting the different AI tools against each other, and also doing it not just with prompts, but specific prompts to or in conjunction with digital tools like Gemini, Copilot, Canva, Adobe, and how do they generate those images with the same prompt and kind of breaking it down, and then how do you level up from that? That's really the only kind of thing you can get from real relationships, real conversations. AI is a bit sterile right now when it comes to that. You can't replace that emotion and that human connection. There's something that goes beyond. When you're going into the tech, you get this surface level, but when you're with a person and you're present and you're listening and you're challenging ideas and sharing ideas, and those aha moments happen, they tend to stick with you better. The research isn't there yet, but quote me, there's something there. I strongly believe that we as humans are better wired to engage with each other like this versus with the device. There's some kind of
energy.
Vibe. Metaphysical. There is something.
There we go. Metaphysical. I haven't heard that
going
term
beyond just the natural experience that really connects us and helps us become better versions of ourselves.
Absolutely. I do a lot of planning and recipes and things like that with AI, but one thing I always keep in the back of my mind is AI can give me steps, ingredients to build a recipe, but it's never created. It's never cooked in the kitchen. Yes. It doesn't know what to do when you overheat, when you have a pan that's too hot, or when you are trying to sweat the onions and you start browning them on accident and before you get to the burning part. But it doesn't know how to do that stuff because it, like you said, there's no human emotion. It's bland, it's dry. So it's not there. And I hope that it never gets there.
I hope so too. We shouldn't be trying to replace the human experience. Like, I understand with different types of learners, in particular, maybe those who are a little more socially inept. That's probably too strong of a word, but those who don't gravitate towards social experiences, I could see there being an allure for something a little more sterile, a little less intimidating. But it's those challenges, those opportunities that allow us to arise. And I would say to those people, maybe start with the tech, to prep, to build out the systems on how to approach a conversation, but then go execute, fail forward, learn.
Fail forward.
Yeah, get into those tricky, hard situations. Be a risk taker. I always double down on those risks and try to do ones that are asymmetrical, meaning if I fall flat and I'm embarrassed, humiliated, whatever it is, that is small. But if I win big.
Yeah. Existential.
Yes.
Just extreme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you. And there's there's research out there, but there's no research like human interaction.
Yeah.
And we can always find research to debunk other research, but there's nothing like connecting, like having those conversations, feeling that energy. I mean, we could have connected through Zoom, Skype, Riverside. Right. What's the one with the duck? I already forgot. StreamYard. We could have connected through one of those. And people always say, hey, I'd love to be on your show. I can connect with you, virtually or what have you. Thank you, but no thank you. I prefer the in-person. If I have to wait for a conference to sit down and chat with somebody who I really want to chat with, I'm going to do it because I would much rather have that human right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely agree with you. You said former educator. When's the last time you were in a classroom?
In a classroom or like as the formal teacher?
Let's say in
record?
A school district. Yeah. Let's say in a school district, doing work as a school district employee, whether it be a teacher, whether it be a coach.
Yeah. Formally, not since late 2021. But, I've popped in, helped substitute, helped cover different aspects, teaching. Something I was really passionate about when I was at Canva and still am. I'm always looking for opportunities to jump in and help out my local districts.
Okay. All right. So you had hallway conversations with teachers.
Yeah.
Do you think humans interacting with AI will ever replace that hallway conversation that happens amongst staff members, amongst teachers, amongst parents and students and parents and teachers and administrators? Can AI prompting back and forth and output back and forth through an AI system ever replace those human conversations in the hallway?
Certainly not now, and hopefully never. And certainly not for a while. AI is really progressing. It's progressing quite quickly, but not in the ways we were promised. And I feel in some ways it's stepped back a little bit. I like some of the older models. I feel like they give me better results, actually, than some of these newer ones. But having just like some insider knowledge, I know it's going to blow up. But at the core of your question, will ever really replace? No, because it's only hitting people at this surface. Just to use the word I used earlier, right? This metaphysical aspect. There's something between two humans talking, breaking bread. There is something beyond pure explanation. We can describe smells, like you're talking about the onions. I love coffee. Shout out to D. Lanier and Matt Miller talking coffee all the time. When you're steaming milk, there's a fine balance there. And you can kind of smell when you burn the milk, when you're steaming the milk.
It's got a stank to it. It definitely has a stank to it.
You don't want that. And there's a fill when you're touching the container that you're using to pour your fancy lattes and make the little designs in there and the hearts and whatnot. AI doesn't capture that. It can show you a video, give you links. It can even, presumably watch what you're doing and give you real-time feedback. That's really cool, but it's a tool. It doesn't care about you whatsoever. That's not going to ever happen. So that's sterile. That inhuman capacity is never going to have the same effect, to where when you're talking to your peers, there's a situation, you want to know how to help out that ELL student that just came. Real life scenario, back home we would get tons of kiddos come in from different countries who didn't speak a lick of English. How are we going to help support that student when we don't know what their needs are? They don't know what to ask for, how to communicate. How are we going to go out there and do our best work and empower them to do their best work? It's conversations. It's doing the hard things and being a human and a person first. And that's going to accelerate what's possible.
So let's play futurist for a quick second.
Okay.
All right. So AI is baked into lesson plannings, It's baked into grading. It's baked into like communication as well with parents and that. Do you think that there is a scenario out there that only a human can get the right or best outcome? Because I can prompt AI for almost anything, but do you think there's something that AI just is not going to be able to help me with? It can analyze data, can help me respond to an email, draft one for me maybe, but is there something that you can think of that AI just is not the answer for?
Yeah, I think it's something that doesn't really go noticed. Intuition.
Ooh.
We're masters of intuition. And so AI can make educated guesses, but it doesn't possess intuition. Let me give you a quick real life scenario.
Let's do it.
When I moved to Austin, there were no English speaking markets near me. So I went to the Spanish speaking market. I was like, and I checked with the E-twins. They're from Spain. They're like,
That's
no,
right.
you said it right for Spain. But in much of South America and in Mexico, it's tocino. And so I learned something. He learned something. So if he has a client who comes in, somebody like me who isn't a native speaker, he can be empathetic and help and use context clues on the fly and help out. And we can both, feel rewarded from that minor challenge. And he just kind of knew what I wanted because he didn't know what bacon was, but he knew, and I kind of pointed. That's a simple case.
My gut intuition would have been, ¿Dónde está? I think they would have pointed you in the right direction. Yeah, but that's a good point. Intuition. What I like to call the sniff test or the gut feeling.
Yeah.
When you go with your gut. AI can't do that.
Yeah.
It'll weigh the options. It'll analyze data. But sometimes the data tells you to go with this decision. Maybe it's a restaurant. Maybe the reviews got that 4.8.
Yeah.
But you just have this gut feeling about this one place and something tells you to go with it. And based on research and data, you went with the other one because of intuition and gut feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. And the fact that you pointed it out with bacon.
Yes.
Is
even
definitely
better.
a plus. Yeah, for sure. So how do you think we can make sure that equity stays at the forefront of AI adoption in schools, especially with our underdeveloped communities, underfunded, and those just who don't have the resources that some of the other more affluent communities and that have, and they just don't have as many resources as those. And a resource doesn't always equal money. A resource is, people coming in to help and parents and support and things like that. So how can we ensure that there's equity in AI adoption in schools, especially for those who don't have as much as others?
It's a great concern. It's one to have. I would say Ken Shelton is definitely one of the experts on it. So he's going to be more eloquent and speak to it at a higher level than me. But in terms of my perspective, it comes from over 2,000 districts and schools that I supported globally when I was with Canva, and talking about this exact thing. It's so important that you give the kiddos and students the tools of today and tomorrow that they're going to need to be successful. They need to know not only what the tools are and how to use them in a personal sense, like going back a little bit, pre-AI, texting. Oh, how do you text? How do you do the emojis? Okay, but how do you translate that to different applications? That's where we as educators can really step in and say, hey, AI is great in the classroom for this. It's great in the workplace for this. If you're a homeowner and somebody tries to sue you, there's a property line dispute, really common one. Here's how you can use it to do the research, to help you collate your thoughts, outline them, and then put them in a style and tone that is indicative of a legal response. You're saying, hey, city, no, I bought the property this way. We did a survey. Here's the data. And It's done very concisely and in a way that makes sense. We want everyone to have those because when we work together, everyone achieves more. So putting the right tools there in front of the kiddos and giving them just the training and know how to use it. I'll give you an example. I was having a conversation this morning. I think the product is called Pocket Talk. I could be wrong. Yeah. So very cool. It's like a cell phone. It takes care of the least common denominator. It's very basic. It's like a cell phone. It just does the one thing very well. It translates for ELLs and others from one language to the next. And that's great. You still need the human to know which language is being spoken, if it's Korean or Arabic, or if you're over at San Francisco, USD, there's a large Chinese population. So maybe it's Mandarin that needs to be translated, or Sacramento, California, and you're translating Ukrainian or Russian, or over here in Texas, Spanish to English. It will help both parties. And then you can scale up from that and maybe use tech tools like Canva, Adobe Express, Gemini, Copilot to do designs like I talked about earlier. And that's mid-level, show them how to use the AI there, and then go in an advanced level, maybe how it plugs into something like Class Dojo in those systems, or an interactive board like Samsung or Lumio or one of those. And so connecting all the dots, and they can sort of learn to take all those bits and pieces and make them more complex and really scale up and do advanced things. But you're quickly just getting to the most basic thing by giving them a basic tool and then growing those skills with more advanced tools and sort of app smashing or tech smashing, if you will.
Haven't heard that term in a hot minute.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, talking about that fine line between human intelligence, artificial intelligence, and treading those waters. If you had this human superpower, what is one human superpower that just will not translate to AI?
I'm going to steal yours. I had a different one. I was going to double down on relationships and really say that. But after our chat, you nailed it. It's intuition. It's that gut feeling. Think about it. A time, maybe you're driving. Yeah, Teslas are on board and they can help make decisions, but what if it's wrong? Like, there's a big rig right there. You just saw it and it's telling you it's clear, but it's not clear. The LiDAR's off for whatever reason there. Or you just have like a weird sense. Case in point, sorry, I always like telling stories. There was one time I was going into a Costco. Normally,
big shout out to Costco.
Yeah.
Love some Costco.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to stock up. And for bacon too. And normally I'll just brush past all the salespeople, not buy their things. But for whatever reason, I had a sense to stop that day. Well, there was some sick individual. He was struggling really bad and wanted to die, death by suicide, right? And so he had gotten access to some of the knives they were selling in the store and was threatening to stab people. Well, I didn't go in all the way, and I got my family and I out. I trusted that gut sense. If I didn't, I still may have been okay, but I would have been stuck in that store for hours while they questioned everybody. And me and my kids may have seen and definitely would have heard that guy getting shot. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that could have been a very bad experience.
Been a traumatic experience for all parties involved.
But because I trusted my intuition and my gut, I was safe. There was no way I was going to prompt AI there.
Yeah. You're not going to pull your phone out, open up one of those apps in the middle of something like that. That's the sniff and gut and vibe test.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a pretty good superhuman power to have, especially in a Costco. Yeah, especially in a Costco. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's quite a lot that we've kind of touched upon there. Now, let's bring it back. You do a lot of grilling, don't you?
I do.
All right, talk to us about let's go top 3 things to grill. If I'm going over to your house and you're going to, cook something up for me.
Yeah.
And you're asking me like, hey, what do you want? And I'm going to say, just give me the Scott Nunes, give me the Nunes family special on the grill. What are you going to make up?
It is very meat heavy.
Okay.
So meat, and more meat. So money's no object. I'm getting you a nice ribeye.
Okay.
Nice, thick, about an inch, inch and a half thick. If you can handle it, medium rare or, medium max, I'm going to serve that up with just some really nice coarse salt. Going to grill it nice and even on all sides, render that fat. It's going to be perfect, way better than any restaurant. And then I would say, other than that, classic California tri-tip, Santa Maria seasoning. Classic. Texans don't have that. They haven't mastered that yet out here.
It's good eats right there.
Yeah.
I like to do ribeye with horseradish, and then I'll make sandwiches out of it, slice it real thin.
That's good.
That's good eats.
I
right
like
there.
that. And you know what else? I would just do grilled chicken breast or chicken thighs. I've nailed it. What I do now is I cheat, sous vide it a little bit.
Okay.
Season it really well, and then throw it on the grill to kind of crisp it up.
Char it.
Char it, get some texture, get a look
builds
to it.
character.
Yeah, it does. But then it's a little silkier on the inside, flavor dense and rich.
Oh, man.
Stellar.
That's good stuff. That's good
Yeah.
stuff. Well, sir, I'd like to tip my hat to you for everything that you contribute to our educational space. Number 2, also for being on the show and wanting to have another conversation, especially something so eye-opening right now. I'm seeing that people are taking more of a step back with just really heavy AI usage and starting to put the human element into things more and more, and starting to look at things with the discrepancy, with the another set of eyes, and saying, you know what, I could have done that better, or I spent so much time on that prompt, I could have just done this because this is really what I wanted, and because it didn't pass their sniff tests with that intuition. And then having those conversations with people and building those relationships and continuing that, because there's no intelligence will out human intelligence.
Yeah. You're right.
That was
It's
pretty good,
superior
right?
in every way.
That was
I
pretty
really
good,
like
right?
that. Yeah. And I think the human
I like that.
intelligence movement folks would subscribe to
Yes.
that. Michelle and her crew. Shout out to them, founding member over here. If I can add one thing to that and build on that, he's not God, folks. It's not Lord of all. It's not the best solution for everything.
It's not the end all be all.
Not the end all be all. Relationships over AI. And I love AI. I'm saying this, and I love tech. I love AI. But I love and know people more. That's the real superpowers. Tapping into people, sharing, not gatekeeping, absorbing, listening, being empathetic, adding value, and really putting people over products. And I'm saying this, I know we're at Class Dojo, great product, but you have to put
Big
people
shout
first.
out to Class Dojo for sponsoring it up. Sorry, man, I cut you off.
No. 760.
That's right.
Yeah, but, people first. And if you do that, the product will follow. It's just having things rightly ordered.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Beautifully put.
Yeah.
I like that. How can people connect with you and learn more about you and get on board?
Yeah, so I'm doing a refresh on the website, but it'll be scottnunes.com. So check that out in the near future. And then catch me on social, Scott Nunes, Mr. Nunes Teach, and on Instagram, I am Mr. EdTech.
That's right. He is Mr. EdTech. That's right. Sounds good, brother. I have one final question for you.
Yeah.
Got to know if things have changed since the last time we chatted.
Okay.
Corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
I'm a flour guy. I know somebody like you is probably going to prefer the corn, and I can see that. Maybe if I were
going to prefer, I'm going to go straight up corn.
Yeah, I think you got to have the right corn.
I will agree with you. There are some bad or not so good tortillas out there.
I think you got to get the corn from Mexico, and it's got to be like done from the ground up, like, doing the masa yourself. Like, I think you got to go hardcore. You do that, okay, you got me. But flour, I love how it puffs up. There's just something about it. Even then, I would still want, like the good flour, the stone ground flour, the organic stuff. Just give it to me raw and pure. I'll put it together, and it's going to be glorious.
The problem with the tortillas puffing up, especially flour, is as the tortilla puffs up, so do I.
This is true, right?
Sounds good. Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being on the show, and thanks for everything you contribute to our space, brother.
All right. Likewise, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.